So today we are going to be talking about Azure Board settings. In our last video, we discussed how we can perform the Azure Board creation of all the work items, features, epics and stuffs. But there are more customizations available for the Azure boards in terms of settings that you can perform an action on that. For instance, the settings that you are seeing here in the screenshot is something which is very handy if you're going to be working for a larger team and if you want to differentiate the task with itself from the other tasks so that it's very easy for navigation purpose. So we are going to be working with these settings in this video, and I will show you how powerful the settings of Azure boards are in terms of making your code more, in terms of making your UI look more easy to work with. So let's see this in action and understand how things work. So for that, I'm going to flip to my Azure DevOps service. Alright, so this is my work item that we discussed in our previous video of this course. And as you can see, if you go to this particular boards, you can see the board is kind of very same like how you were using this in our previous version of Visual Studios, like VSTS or Team Foundation Server 2015 and stuff. So the difference that we can make with this particular version is by means of the settings that is available for configuring the teams within the board. So if I select this particular setting, you can see there is an option called fields where you can show the core fields like the show ID that you want to show with, or you want to show the assign to like the full name or the avatar. So for instance, I have the photo, which is the avatar, and the name, the full name Karthik KK in it. So this is the default, but you can change the avatar only, and if you hit save, you can see that it all becomes like an avatar, by the way. So maybe just you need to refresh the page. It won't refresh very quickly sometimes, and you can see that it's all in avatar here, right? Similarly, you can make all the different kinds of changes. So I probably prefer to have the full name. And then if I go to the styles, you can see the styles is very easiest way to differentiate your code, or maybe the UI that you are seeing over here. So for instance, all the cards are in white colors. So if I want to differentiate the card with some different colors to whom I'm assigning them. So for instance, I want to choose the card that's a little bit maybe like this. And I'm going to say the field is for assign to. So for instance, for the Karthik, maybe over here. And then you can also add new classes if you want, but I'm just going to save and close this guy. You can see that the color has now turned into the purple color over here for Karthik. So for instance, you're going to have different color for exit automation user, you can have that as well. So you can keep on changing the configurations of the settings that you want to see, and you can see the rule comes in here. And similarly, you can have the tag name. So for instance, I have few tags for our design. For instance, if I go over here, you can see that we can add a tag. So I'm just going to say this is a design mechanism. So this is the design tag. And since this is a development, I'm going to say this is like a develop tag. I'm going to say I'm going to close this. And let's go over here. I think these are all develop as well. So I'm just going to give the develop tag. I'm going to save and close. And this is design as well. I'm going to give this as design, save and close. And now if I go to the configure team setting here, and if I go to the tags, and then I can choose the color to be shown for the tags just to differentiate itself from the rest of cards. So I can just choose that, and maybe I'm going to give a green for the design, and you can see that it becomes like green color. So this is how we can keep on changing the colors for all these different board items that you are seeing in over here. And then you can see there is something called as annotations. So if you want to see the task as this particular symbol, you can do that. Similarly, for the test, you can see if you're going to be creating a manual test, you can see the card iteration over there. And if you're going to select the test plans, and then you can create the test plan as well. Of course, we don't really have any test plan here, so I'm just going to leave this guy as it is. And the columns, currently we have like new, active, resolved, and close columns over here. And if you want to add your own custom columns, you can do that. And similarly, swim lane is something that you're gonna separate the view of this particular card with the other cards, so you can do that as well. Similarly, card reordering, so currently it's in default like this, so you can choose this as well if you want to. The status badge is very interesting because if you're going to have this particular project for the public, you can actually have this particular badge for the in progress, and if it is completed, you can have like a completed status of all this stuff. So you can have the status badge as well. Similarly, the cumulative flow, backlogs, you can see this is the navigation level, the working days, and working with bugs. So all these stuffs are there for the settings of the boards. So this way you can keep on adding the different kinds of settings for the board, and you can work with that. And this is very, very handy because you can differentiate your cards with the other cards. And the final thing I'm going to show you is the view options. You can see it is in live update, so you don't really have to refresh the browser every time. Sometimes you have to, but sometimes you don't. So if it is on, then it won't expect you to refresh the browser. It automatically updates the changes that we are making in the settings. And you can see there is this particular filter options, which is going to be very handy as well. So if you're going to choose the one which is assigned to Karthik, you can see only for the Karthik. And similarly, you can see the tags that you can do that as well. And this is iteration, this is area, and the parent items. Again, these are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not really going to go deep into this particular filter stuffs. It's kind of very, very basic. So that's it, guys. This way it ends the section of the boards, and in our next section we are going to be discussing about repos of Azure DevOps service. Thank you.